I was never super big on like making fun of OnlyFans or talking about like the cultural relevancy of it because like it wasn't something that like I was really affected by, right? Because I'm not an incel. I don't blame like outside forces for like the culture war or anything. Like for me, I look at like what OnlyFans did and what it offered, and I'm just like, oh wow, stupid sluts that I would never have anything to do with to begin with are using this to whore themselves out. Okay, not a big deal. But like one of the weird things you'll notice about the internet community is that like even though they say they hate sluts and they hate women and they hate this or they hate that, like they really are like the biggest arbiters of its relevancy. Because people make fun of OnlyFans all the time, and yet a lot of these people you'll see are like really big on like VTubers or like they're simps in their own right in their own ways. Like the double standard is kind of like interesting. Like because OnlyFans was like demonized as like the end all be all when it comes to like online internet thottery, and like I just don't really see it that way. I mean, I don't have any real experience with it. I don't know how it actually operates. Because, like, it wasn't originally envisioned as a porn platform, wasn't it? Like, wasn't it originally supposed to be, like, about, like, all kinds of different creators, and they tried branching out into, like, other things, but porn was the only thing that took off? Like, that's the reality of this, is that, like, OnlyFans tried to build a business model where, like, independent creators could sell all kinds of things directly to customers. And the thing that like really took off and became innovative was porn, right? It wasn't the girls on there that like made it what it was. It was the audience, okay? Yeah, obviously the whores like came on there, flocked there, and made it into like, the big major thing, right? And obviously I don't condone these people, but like at the same time, there is an audience for it. There are legions of simps, giving these people money just for like to have a girl talk to them. And that's like insane to those of us who smash regularly and have GFs, but like for these people, like this is something that's like untenable. Like these guys just obsess over like, women to the point where like they have to pay to get someone to talk to them. It's like, it's really sad and pathetic. And like, the thing about this you don't talk about is like, the audience and like what they're like and like what they're doing and all that. So like my opinion on this is like, why exactly do we clown on like the OnlyFans model so much and not the actual audience? Like I've never heard anyone bitch about the actual audience when it comes to like OnlyFans whores. Like again, that's kind of like my mindset when I look at like people celebrating the death of like the CEO. Is that like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody outside of just like, vague associations of being simps like make fun of the audience for OnlyFans. And it's like, I do think that's the wrong perspective to have on this, because I do think one of the big errors of the culture war is to like blame women unilaterally for all of our problems, because women don't have any decision-making skills. They don't have any ability. They don't have the capacity to like to do anything. Like, women are fundamentally like, not capable of like making any real societal change. Okay. Like the reason women are so shit is because men allow it to happen. Actually, no, not allow, encourage it. The reason why OnlyFans was such a profitable venture for whores was because there were so many men willing to pay for it. That's the simple reality of this. Like, if people wouldn't pay for it, it wouldn't be a thing that exists. And it just, to me, just kind of speaks volumes about the mindset of the people who obsess over OnlyFans. Because like the mindset of like the average OnlyFans hater is like, it comes off more like jealousy than it does like actual disgust. Okay, like they really wish they could be like the cam girl. They really wish they could have sex with whoever they wanted. Like they really wish they were like desirable. Okay, it's like, it's weirdly like rooted in like envy or whatever. And like they try to frame it in this way where like, oh man, a bunch of innocent girls got into OnlyFans because it existed. Like, no, like OnlyFans thoughts chose this because it was an easier way to whore themselves out. It was safer. They didn't have to like rely on a pimp or like, you know, porn sites or like be at the mercy of like you know, the industry. It was like a little bit more independent and they had a little bit more control. Okay, you know, and they weren't expected to like actually have sex with anyone. I think. I don't know if they does OnlyFans have prostitutes on it. I can't imagine it does, but like maybe it does. Anyway, again, like I said, I'm pretty ignorant of these kind of things. So like again, like these chicks were gonna be whores no matter what because that's the culture. That is the culture that men have cultivated. That is the culture that men want. Is that they have explicitly said that all I care about is sex, all I want is sex, all I want you to do is be a sex object. You know, they don't really think of women as people. You know, like they don't really think of them as anything other than sex objects. And as a result of that, that leads them to this like weird culture where they like simultaneously like, you know, demonize OnlyFans. They blame it for all their problems, and yet they secretly really wish that they could be part of that lifestyle, that they could like be doing these things and being with these women and like just being there essentially, you know, having those kind of experiences like that's kind of what we're seeing now, is that it's not rooted in a like, you know, feeling like this is genuinely bad for society. It feels as if the vast majority of OnlyFans critics are upset that they don't get to exist in this like this ecosystem, that they have no place in it, you know, and so they just kind of like make fun of OnlyFans whores for that reason. That's kind of my mentality, like, you know, observing these people. You know, how many times do we see Nick Rekieta spurg out about OnlyFans whores, only to be like, to turn out to be way worse and way more degenerate, you know? I think that's very, very common, okay? And I do think that's like the big cultural shift we have to make. You know, men need to be more adamant that like women shouldn't be whores, but instead be wives and mothers, okay? Like, that's where we need to be. Like, men need to pressure women not to be whores and not to do these kind of things. And if they do, just straight up ignore them. You know, that's way worse than complaining about prostitutes, okay? Like, if you become a whore, that should be the death of you in that regard. Like, nobody should pay attention to you. It should be, like, a complete, like, elimination of all your social prospects, right? But, like, the reason why that doesn't happen is because men don't enforce it. You know, there's always some simp coming out to try and enable these women just so they can have her. And that is something that we absolutely should be dead set against.